So, hey guys, today we're talking about Memento once again, and today we're talking about what I would personally change about Memento. So, Memento has a lot of weird qualities to it that are just, well, I would argue are completely unnecessary, and here are the things I would change. So, first we have Memento Lin Mace. So, I would change Mace's effect to say instead during your opponent's main phase to just be during the main phase. So then we can take control of one of our opponent's monsters during our own turn if we get out creation, combined creation, right? So combined creation is already like giga dumb to put onto the field. So there should be no real issue with Mace being able to take on our own turn as well. We can kind of cycle this over and over again, but honestly, if you can maintain like combined creation and also keep looping Mace, then you deserve to be able to activate Mace's effective Snatch Seal because you have to keep in mind that you have to discard Mace specifically. So you would have to be like searching Mace every single time, pretty much. You want to be resolving Mace. The other option would be to Gaddick add back Mace, or right now I guess there's also a Kirin effect to add back Mace. But you would have to do that alongside having a combined creation. So this would only be annoying if you cared about like turn 5, turn 7, and that kind of thing, right? But aside from that, why can't I activate Mace on my own turn? The deck kind of is already a little bit struggling, so why not have this option? It's not even that easy to do, honestly, because technically you have to think about this being a one of as well. And then going through your combo line, you probably would have already used like Anguish's effect to search and also Gaddick effect in the graveyard. You might have used this as well. But I guess Gaddick would be the point where you could add back Mace. You would have to search with Anguish for the most part, Atsu, and you would also still need combined creation on the field, which is pretty like possible to deal with because you can just imperm Anguish, and that prevents this from resolving in hand anyways. Like, but why not? And then next thing, well, let's see. You can discard this card for the rest of this turn. Why does this one work on both turns? And also, why does this only work during the main phase? This makes this completely kind of pointless. And also, there's like no memento monsters you really care about getting targeted with card effects. Um, do I even have any effects that matter? And this also requires you to control combine creation, so this doesn't even insulate your plays, assuming you're going first. And because you have so many like ways to kind of dodge certain targeted effects, why is it that Goblin is only like after you've full comboed? Why is this only resolvable then? Why can't I just drop Goblin into the graveyard and have like moderate protection for my memento monsters? Like, why not? Why does this require us to control combine creation? And why is this during the main phase only? So genuinely no idea with that one. So just for example, let's assume we have Goblin in hand because we're trying to play around like Subversion, but then our opponent immediately activates Subversion, putting our combine creation in the back row, which turns off Mace, prevents combine creation's effect from activating. That this ends up protecting nothing, and then this also turns off, I guess, Cranium Burst, extra pop from Fracture Dance as well. And also, I'm not even entirely sure if we have a good way to get combined creation. Well, I mean, actually, no. We can use technically, I think Horn Dragon pops any memento card, including like field spell, right? Yeah. So this can pop your back row memento card. So this can technically pop the combined creation, I guess, if you get hit by like Subversion, but yeah, you can't do anything about subversion that your opponent just hard opened or anything like that with Goblin in hand. Why? And then next thing I would probably change is straight up Bone Party. This is going to be worse into Apollosa, but I would rather have Bone Party's entire effect just be tied to a memento monster instead. I think that would be a lot better. So, how about instead of Bone Party, we have Memento Monster that can quick effect destroy another Memento Monster and then just special summon itself. And also, I guess it would need to be able to also be incorporated as part of a 2-card combo. So let's think for a second what we could do. So how about it just discards itself from hand? I mean, I'd be happy with that. Quick effect, discard itself from hand, pop a card, and then resolve more or less the same effect of Bone Party. You would lose the defense piercing effect, which no longer matters. I mean, yeah, because of Akirin existing. This would matter before because you wouldn't be able to deal with Crooked Cook otherwise. But now it doesn't matter, so the effect to get the defense pierce, not as important. I mean, it can still be useful in some cases where if we summon Combine Creation and then we have Bone Party in Graveyard, that can just be game, right? But aside from that, just having Bone Party instead be a monster makes Memento Lint Fusion a lot better and more live. So that would just be a small thing I would prefer, just to minimize the amount of spell traps you have. But of course, that's bad against like certain monster negate cards like Apollosa, right? Or Phantom of Yubel. So there are situations where that'd be better and worse. But you of course have the Goblin quick play now, so it's not like as outrageous as it would be before. So that's a change I would prefer. And then there is Memento Lindark Blade, which requires you to specifically discard a Memento card. Which, question, well, why does this only discard Memento cards? Is there a good reason for this? There's pretty much no worry of any deck aside from pretty much just Memento exactly from using Darkblade, right? I mean, you could technically kind of generically play Memento, but it's like not good, I would say, and not many decks can pull it off. And yeah, not really a big concern. You know, Maxi is a card that exists, right? And also all the Mulcharmy cards, and also like Ash Blossom Spring, Infinite Impermanence, just yeah. So discard any card, I think would be a lot more preferable because what if I'm staring down like Tikaboo and then we have like uh in this case it could be like Bone Party in hand and then like 3 hand traps that I have no usage for because my opponent is playing more or less stun, right? So I would need to Dark Blade, pitch Bone Party to get rid of Tikaboo, and then beat over like Fossil Dyna or something. Then I would be able to still Dark Blade effect here, I guess. But let's assume my opponent has Ash Blossom Spring, and then they just set another Floodgate. So in this case, maybe Rivalry, and then flip that over, and then I'm just cooked. Cool. I mean, having this effect of Dark Blade is still nice, I suppose, if nothing else. And then I guess there's also the fact that you discard for cost here. So if you get Imperm, you're going -2, and you're not resolving a goddamn. You're not resolving any effect. So yeah, nothing's resolving. Great. And then Gaddock. Small change I would like here is instead of just Memento Monsters effect, I'd rather Gaddock just to have more options. I would rather Gaddock triggered off of being sent by a memento card and not just a memento monster. But I mean, it doesn't matter that much, honestly, and that's just fine in general. And then Horn Dragon here, I think is just fine. What I would like change about Horn Dragon potentially is just to make this maybe non-targeting, perhaps. Do we have non-targeting removal anywhere on any of the monsters? No. Yeah. So having just one piece of non-targeting removal would kill the need to play Fracture Dance at all, because there are cases where you would need the some non-targeting removal. So yeah, those are the big things I would change. I think Sleepy honestly is fine as is. I mean, it could be better, but I don't think it's necessary. Akira could also be a little bit better. If this was able to be triggered while in your hand as well, and not just in the graveyard, that would also be a little bit nice. Be able to special summon Akirin just to have an additional body to SP pass with. That's about all I can really visualize here. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys today, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.